moment about what's at play. It's clear that Rosie is not letting go of this feud, and now she's suggesting that you're acting like a pimp. What do you make of all of this, and where does it go from here?
Well, it's too bad. I mean, I think she's got something wrong with her. She's obviously cracking up. There's something absolutely wrong. She doesn't even mention my name. She goes into a whole big thing. Because Rosie basically is a very untalented person who's a bully. Her intelligence is less than average, in my opinion. I mean, I've known her for a long time. And, you know, Barbara Walters, who's a friend of mine, rescued Rosie from oblivion. Rosie was, her show was dead. She got very poor ratings at the end. She got thrown off television, essentially. She did a magazine which turned out to be a total fiasco called Rosie. It ruined a company practically, and the head of the company was fired. Its success was so poor, and it ended up in huge lawsuits. And, Rosie, I think, is just about on the edge of cracking up. There's something mentally, in my opinion, mentally wrong with Rosie, but I sort of have felt that for quite a while.
Now, you talked about Barbara Walters being involved, of course, as being the producer of The View, and Rosie's been making a lot of comments on that show. Have you talked with Barbara over the last couple of days since all of this erupted over the recent weeks?
Well, I did speak with Barbara, and Barbara probably doesn't love when I say this, but she has been a friend of mine, and Barbara is no fan of Rosie. I mean, the worst thing Barbara ever did was hiring Rosie, and I predict that Rosie will probably bring The View down to a level that they don't want, and I just don't think it's going to be very successful. I think that Rosie is a huge liability, really a huge liability. The only thing she's got going for her is a nice girlfriend. But can you imagine the parents of this nice woman named Kelly when she said, "Mom, Dad, I just fell in love with a big fat pig named Rosie"? Can you imagine the expression on their face?
Now, Mr. Trump, you're also, fueling the flames here as well. Why not just bury the hatchet, walk away from this, and, be the gentleman that you are and say, you know what, I'm not going to, dignify any of these remarks with any more responses. Why not?
Well, I would bury the hatchet, and I'd love to bury the hatchet. And frankly, Rosie didn't have the guts to talk about me on The View because, at first she did, and then when I hit her back and she got hit hard, she was afraid to say anything. She had her girlfriend sitting in the front row for a little confidence. She was stammering. She was stuttering. She didn't know where the hell she was. It looked like she had a rough night because Rosie's a bully, and when somebody hits a bully back right between the eyes, they fold.
Let me ask you,
I think Rosie's cracking up.
Really quickly,
she calls me a pimp, and all I did was help somebody that was in trouble. I mean, I had a wonderful Miss USA. I own a pageant that's very successful. It's broadcast on NBC. I have a wonderful girl that had a problem, and I gave her a second chance. And Rosie couldn't stand that I gave her a second chance.
Well, let me ask you, you talked about suing. Do you still plan to do that?
Well, you're not allowed to call a person a pimp, especially when they're not a pimp, and obviously I'm not. And you're not allowed to say the kind of things she is, but she's not a smart person. And, the beauty, and I'm very proud of the fact that I've exposed Rosie for what she is, a dummy.
All right, Donald Trump, the feud goes on. Hopefully things will calm down in the next few